All right, let's talk about something I'm pretty sure we've all felt, the coffee jitters. You know that shaky, kind of buzzy feeling you get sometimes? It's such a common part of that morning ritual for so many of us. But what is actually going on inside our bodies to make that happen? We're gonna break it all down.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? One minute you're sipping that perfect cup of coffee, just enjoying the moment, and the next, your hands are doing this little tremor thing. It's so weird, right? Well, you are definitely not alone. The reason behind it is all about some really fascinating brain chemistry. So, let's dive in.
Okay, so let's get into the science of it. To really get why we get the shakes, we have to look at what caffeine is doing to our brain and our nervous system. And honestly, it all comes down to how it messes with this one tiny chemical messenger.
And here it is. Meet the main character in this whole drama, adenosine. You can basically think of adenosine as your body's built-in chill-out signal. As you go about your day, it slowly builds up in your brain, and its job is to latch onto these little receptors and tell your body, hey, it's time to slow down, time to relax. It's literally the reason you start to feel sleepy after a long day.
So this is where caffeine comes in and plays the part of a total trickster. See, when you drink coffee, caffeine molecules rush up to your brain. And here's the crazy part. They look almost exactly like adenosine. So they slide right into those same chill-out receptors. But they don't activate them, they just block them. It's like putting the wrong key in a lock. And that is what kicks off this whole chain reaction. Because now that the relaxed signal is totally blocked, your body's natural stimulants, like adrenaline, suddenly have no brakes. They're just free to go wild. Your heart starts beating a little faster, and your entire nervous system just goes on high alert.
And the result of all that? Well, it's exactly what you feel, that jittery, shaky sensation. All that extra adrenaline and all that nervous system energy, it has to go somewhere, right? So that physical shake, that little tremor in your hands, is just your body's way of showing on the outside what's happening on the inside. It's a direct result of that whole biological domino effect we just talked about.
But, okay, here's the thing. We've all got that one friend, right? The one who can down 3 espressos and be totally fine, while you have 1 latte and feel like a vibrating mess. So what gives? Well, it turns out the amount of coffee you drink is really just one piece of the puzzle. There are a bunch of other things that can turn up the volume on those jitters. Yep, you heard that right. You might actually be able to blame your parents for this one. It turns out, some of us have a specific genetic variation that means our liver is just slower at breaking down caffeine. It's just how we're wired. So for those people, the caffeine hangs around in their system for way longer, and all its effects, especially that overstimulation, are just way more intense.
And it's not just about your genes either. This is where your day-to-day habits can make a huge difference. Think about it. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach? That's like giving caffeine an express lane right into your bloodstream. Already feeling super stressed? Well, your adrenaline levels are probably already high, so coffee just pours gasoline on that fire. And oh man, if you're sleep deprived, your body's basically begging for a boost, which makes it way more sensitive to any kind of stimulant. These things aren't isolated. They all pile on top of each other to create like the perfect storm for getting the jitters.
Okay, so we get the why now. That's great. But the big question is, what can we actually do about it? The good news here is that you probably don't have to give up coffee forever. There are actually some really simple, practical tricks to help you enjoy your brew without all those shaky side effects.
All right, so let's talk strategy. How do you get that calm back? First up, and this is a big one, always try to have some food in your stomach first. It really slows down how fast the caffeine hits you, which means a much smoother buzz. Another obvious but super effective tip, just reduce how much you're drinking. Maybe 1 cup is your sweet spot instead of 2. Also, don't forget to stay hydrated with plain old water. It helps your body process everything much more efficiently. And hey, you can always switch to decaf after your first cup. You still get the taste without adding more fuel to the fire.
You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head, I think. It helps reframe the whole experience. Getting the shakes isn't some kind of weakness, and it definitely doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It's just a signal, that's all. It's your body being incredibly direct and honest and just saying, whoa, hey, this is a little too much stimulation for me right now. And really, that's the best question to leave you with. The next time you feel that little tremor after your coffee, what if, instead of getting annoyed by it, you just listened? It's an opportunity to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, am I stressed out? Did I get enough sleep last night? Maybe my body is just telling me it needs a glass of water. It's such a small signal, but it could be carrying a really important message. Just something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.